Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today I'm here to talk about one stock in particular that I think is going to be a life changer. It is going to change your life if you invest in it right now, and the trajectory of where you're going to be financially. So if you guys do enjoy this video, be sure to smash that like button. Also subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate the support. Thank you guys so much, and let's get right into it. So as we can see, good day in the portfolio today. We're up a little bit. I'm actually holding a lot of cash right now, looking to invest it very soon. There's a few stocks I'm looking to invest in. If you guys do watch some of my other, more recent videos, you'll see that. But the stock that we are here to talk about today is none other than Google. Google stock is one that I've been talking about for a long time. You see I have some here at $200 average cost. Pretty decent buy if I do say so myself. Their PE ratio is 31.17. It was 21 when I was talking about it at first, but it has risen since then. It's a huge company, one of the biggest companies in the world, and we see, they always beat their earnings. This is a company that's very successful. Everyone's saying to buy this company. They do well, okay? So Google is a company that does very well. If we take a look at Market Dash right here, it's a very useful platform. If you guys do enjoy it, be sure to use my 7-day free trial down below. We can see that they have a lot of information that other places don't. So first I want to look at, their revenue right here. Or also you can see institutional investors. Excuse me. A lot of people have a lot of Google in their portfolio because this stock does perform so well. We see this person's up 211%. We see 189%, 123, 477. And then we go down a little bit more, and then we can see that there are some people that are up 580%, 596%. So people were buying Google for around $40, $50. Pretty crazy stuff. I think now it's still a good time to buy. We see Google's highest price target is $375. I love to see that. Good, very, very good price target for them. And then if we look right here, we see their revenue. This is a chart that I really like to see. This company is growing every single quarter, no matter what quarter it is. Over time, they are growing. So very happy to see that. I think Google is a great investment right now because, we look at their free cash flow as well. Same story. They're growing that as well. And that's what you want to do. You want to invest in a company that is growing, and I think Google's doing that very well. They have a net margin of 32%, which is very impressive, and then a gross margin of 59%. Obvious competitive advantage for this company. And then we look at their valuation. Their PE ratio is 31. That is not really all that high compared to where this company usually has their PE ratio, because I think they're worth more of a 35. If we go and look at other companies like them, that I think Google's kind of acquainted themselves at these levels now, like Apple has a PE ratio of 38. If we look at Microsoft has a PE ratio of 34.86. And then if we look at Amazon, we see that Amazon, wrong one. Okay. I did not mean to do that, but if we do look at Amazon right here, we can see that Amazon has a PE ratio of 33. So pretty similar to those two, but I do think Google can be, a little bit higher in PE ratio, and they are going to be. So Google, you guys know what Google is. You guys know how Google makes money. They have their search engine. They have YouTube TV. They have YouTube, what you're watching right now. They have streaming services. They have devices. They own, a big line of Android phones, Android tablets, Android computers. Or not Android computers, but things of that nature. They have a lot of things going for them. But one of their things that they have going for them that not a lot of people know about yet is Waymo. Waymo is worth $5 trillion for Alphabet stock. That's insane to say, okay, because this company doesn't, if you look at their revenue right now, quarter over quarter, like we saw on this chart right here, we can see that their revenue this past quarter was $385 billion. So that's insane. That's really good. But $5 trillion valuation, that's a lot for them. So we believe that it's positioned to grow from its valuation by well over 3x from the already huge $2 trillion figure. So they think Google is going to grow to over $500 a share. I don't think that's crazy at all. So this is a factor here. This is something that's true. Waymo has grown the number of weekly paid rides from 10,000 to over 100,000 in the last 12 months. It's insane. If you guys don't know what Waymo it is, I actually should have explained that. It's an autonomous driving system. So what Waymo is it's basically, if you guys definitely know what Uber is. Uber is, you can call and get a ride, or you can, use their app. It's exactly Uber, except there's no driver. It's a car that drives itself. So they're saving a lot of money on that end, and they're also able to, do it all themselves. They don't have to rely on anyone, which is amazing. And they can undercut the costs of Uber. So Uber has taken initiative and started investing heavily in Google, Google's Waymo, and we'll talk about later in this video Tesla's Robotaxi, which makes a lot of sense because Uber has to position themselves in that way. in order to be successful, honestly, just, in this space, because they are in a spot where they are going to get overtaken. I mean, it's not an if, but a when. They just can't, compete with those prices and what Uber's great. They have a lot of services that are good as well, but they're just not able to compete with these companies. I mean, come on, nobody can. It's the Mag 7 for a reason. So we see Uber does more than 200 million rides each week. Let that sink in. So if autonomous rides can capture even half of that market, which I think they're going to capture more, that would mean 100 million rides per week. That's about 1,000 times where Waymo is today. At 200 million rides a week translates to about a billion a month and over 10 billion a year. At $30 per ride, we're talking revenues of close to 300 billion per year. Google could add that onto their company, that would be insane. And then it says, wait, there's more. So I'm not going to read every single art or every single paragraph in this, but we do just want to see that, I mean, this is a pretty big, opportunity for Google investors. Waymo is definitely a big part of this. So this is a big thing as well. They're self-driving cars, no human drivers, no unions, no employer contractor issues, and no human cost. So yes, there is other expenses that Google does have to cover, but the cost of paying an employee is a lot higher. So if Waymo captures about 1/3 of the $1 trillion autonomous rides market, which I think they'll capture more than 1/3, we'll go over that very soon here, it could generate annual revenues of around 300 billion with a 50% margin, with very high margin, very good margin. That's a neat 150 billion in profit. What's that worth? At a 30 times earnings multiple, that would add an additional valuation of about 4.5 trillion for Alphabet. So if we take a look at Google like we just did, let's look at Google. We see that their valuation right now is 3.86 trillion. So that would add, pretty much double the company's valuation. And while the company I think is going to grow anyways, the Waymo is going to help them grow a lot as well. Or that pretty much double, a little bit more than double, but this was, written a while ago, but I think people are starting to realize that Waymo is in a space where it can do this, and Google can do this very fast. Waymo is expanding very quickly, and what I wanted to compare is Waymo to Robotaxi. So Waymo and Robotaxi are not direct competitors, as Waymo is specific driverless Robotaxi service. Let that sink in. While Robotaxi is a general term for the technology. So Robotaxi is Tesla's version of Waymo. Pretty much Robotaxis are nowhere near Waymo. Let's just say that. I mean, just not even close, honestly. So I wanted to take this into account. We see Musk says Austin Robotaxi fleet will double by year end. The fleet is only 30 vehicles, and he's doubling it to 60. And he said he wanted to get 500. Okay. Let that sink in as well. So I mean, it's not looking very good for Robotaxi and Elon Musk. I mean, it might be slow start, but I do think that Waymo is very well positioned. They actually have 2,500 cars, and they just put in a big order for even more cars. So Waymo is positioned a lot better than Robotaxi, and I think that Waymo also thinks that as well. They know that they're investing as such. They just bought, I think they almost bought 80,000 cars if I'm not mistaken. And they're going to have 80,000 in total, and they do have 2,500 right now. So if we look up Waymo current fleet, we can see that Waymo's current fleet is comprised, and I'm looking this up on Google, which is obviously Google. Waymo's current commercial fleet is comprised of about 2,500 vehicles, primarily consisting of blah, 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 but we have 1,000 in the San Francisco Bay Area, which is a huge market. There's a lot in San Francisco. I've been to San Francisco. You see them a lot. 700 in Los Angeles, which is also big. Los Angeles, a little bit bigger than San Francisco, but there are 700 there. 500 in Phoenix, 200 in Austin, and 100 in Atlanta. So in Austin already, Waymo has a lot more than Robotaxi does. The company is expanding its fleet with new models like the Zeekr RT, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, and plans to add a Hyundai Ioniq 5 SUVs in the future. In addition to the commercial fleet, Waymo is testing its technology sometimes with human drivers in other cities like Minneapolis. So Waymo, I really feel confident in Waymo. I think that this is a part of Google's company that is going to do very well. And then we look at Google, and Google is honestly just a company where it's all innovation. You're investing in more of you're not even more of, but you are investing in the idea of this company. So per se, I think that if you invest in Google, in this company, you're buying the company for Google, obviously, but I mean, the leadership of Google and the ideas that they come up with are just insane. The crazy thing is Waymo is Google. Like, Google started Waymo, and a lot of these other companies are starting autonomous rideshare services. Like, same thing with Amazon. I think Amazon is starting one, and as you see, Tesla's starting one, which makes more sense. They are a car company at the end of the day, or somewhat of a car company, but I really like Google for this reason. And then you got to think as well, Google has everything else, that they already have. Like we can see here that if we look at this, we see they have Google Cloud even, which I didn't even cover, but I mean, that's a huge revenue driver for them, which grew 30% this past year, not even to mention. And that's one of the facets of their business that is growing the fastest. So I didn't even talk about that. That's not even like a big thing in my mind for them because it's just doing so well. So I mean, they have all these service-based platforms where they're one of the biggest, ad brands, ad companies in the world. They make so much from ads that it's insane. When you watch this video right now, you might see an ad just because Google runs ads on their YouTube videos, and Google made money on that. They do give a share to the creator, but they make a lot of money on that. There's YouTube TV, which is a streaming service that I have YouTube TV personally. A lot of people have it. Very, very good, honestly. I mean, it's just, everything you're looking for in a streaming service. They also have a lot of Android phones. They're Google Pixel phones. Pretty insane to me. Androids are not that popular in the US, but I mean, they are. They are popular, but definitely Apple overtakes the US. But I think globally, people don't really understand how popular Androids are. And as the population expands globally, we're going to see Androids are also going to expand. So I think that's a big way that these companies are going to, kind of capitalize on gains these next coming decades. So if you are a long-term investor like me, I'm only buying companies that I want to have for the next 3 to 7 years. That's what I'm doing, at least. So I'm buying these companies to hold them for that long, and I think that in that time we are going to see a big jump in the Android sales. So the last thing I want to go over before I end this video, I don't want to drag it out too long, but I do want to say that yes, I know Google's at an all-time high. I know that. So this is the main thing when it comes to investing is you cannot be scared. It's time in the market, not timing the market. So let me just say that again. It's time in the market, not timing the market. So you don't want to time the market as to where, okay, I'm not going to buy the stock. I think the stock market's about to crash and then I'm going to buy it for a lot cheaper. No, you need to buy the stock, when you can buy the stock, and then when you can buy that stock, you're going to just dollar cost average down or dollar cost average up. So don't wait to get into a stock because Google, like this one, like it can be at an all-time high and never be lower than that. Like, for example, if you were waiting for Google to drop when it was right, it just reached this all-time. We see Google was at the all-time high right here, 148, and then it dropped here. You're like, oh, it's going to drop lower. It's been at 88. It's been in that $90 range, $90 to $100 range for a while. But then it gets back up to where it was right here, that 148, about right here. We see it's at that 140 level right here. And you're like, okay, I'm going to wait to buy Google. I'm going to wait till it drops. It's reaching an all-time high right now. But then you see it jumps all the way to 190. And then you're like, okay, I'm going to wait for them to drop. They drop to 145. Oh, I don't believe it. And then now you're stuck at 320. And you could have bought Google all the way back at 150, and now you'd be sitting on over 100% gain. So that's something to think about. It's some food for thought. Is you really do need to invest in these companies with time. Don't try to time these companies. If you do, you will get bitten in the butt because it is not a good idea. So that's all I have for today's video, guys. If you did enjoy, be sure to smash that like button. Also subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate the support from you guys. Like I said, it means the world to me. I'm going to keep pumping out these videos. Let me know what kind of videos you guys want to see. I'm thinking I'm going to try to start editing my videos a little bit more, just full transparency. I'm going to try to do some editing, kind of make them a little bit more interesting, maybe talk about some overall strategies, things of that nature. So if you guys did make it to the end of the video, comment down below what you want to see me make. I'm making a video every day, and I don't want to say I'm running out of ideas, but I do, kind of want to switch it up a little bit. I'm making videos where I'm talking about, the same stock or the same strategy. I kind of want to start talking about some different stuff, maybe in some different spaces. I do like the stock market a lot, but maybe some entrepreneurial spaces. I've started about 2 or 3 pretty successful businesses, so maybe I could, give a little bit of expertise on that. I'm not sure. Let me know what you guys want to hear about. Like I said, thank you for watching the video. I'll catch you in the next one tomorrow. Peace.